true leaders understand conflict at a much deeper level, and they have a different mental model to deal with it. Many of my clients, they felt that conflicts should be avoided or they should be solved as quickly as possible. Well, if you share that thought, then think again. When most people find themselves in conflict, they either try to avoid it or they try to defend their position, and those things never work. So if you understand this mental model, then you can also understand that conflicts are great opportunities to build deep relationships. There are 4 pillars to this framework. I'm going to call this the CEO's conflict to connection framework. Pillar number 1 is this. It's see the situation, not the story. When you get into a situation, there are going to be other people there, and everybody's going to have their own story. The CEO does not connect to the drama. They see past the drama and understand the situation behind the stories. Because if you think about it, it's kind of like you see a garden. In the garden, there are flowers, but simultaneously within the flower beds, there are also weeds. The person coming into it goes to the garden and they don't blame the weeds for growing. They don't blame the garden. They see both the flowers and the weeds, but they get to the situation. So the same thing is true with the CEO. You come to the situation, there are going to be as many stories as there are people. And as a result of that, one person's story, when they tell the story, is through the lens of their own perspectives. The other person tells a story through the lens of their own perspective, and the perspectives are going to be different. But this is where it's important that you come to it and understanding that when you see a situation, situations don't have one side to it. An individual's perspective can have one side, can be biased and one-sided, but the situation cannot be. So seek to understand the situation, seek to see the situation for its situation. And situations are all neutral because there are both sides of it. There's 2 sides to a situation, not just one side to a situation. So see the situation for the totality of what it is and not the stories, because the stories are oftentimes not the whole truth. Pillar number 2, name the need, not the neglect. Most people, when they come into a situation, they are so busy naming the neglect. So in other words, they're talking about what's missing, talking about what's not there, talking about what he did and they didn't do, and talking about the empty space. The master builder does not curse the empty space. He lays the foundation and builds from there. So a CEO comes in, and among the conflict, what masterful CEOs know how to do is to see the need behind the articulated neglect, and therefore to articulate the need instead and build a foundation in which we can all come together in solidarity and build from there. So this is important. Be the one who, among the shouts of neglect, where you can use that to, number 1, the pillar number 1, where you can see the situation for what it is, not for the one-sided perspectives from the story, but the real situation for what it is. And then from there, pillar number 2 is to articulate very clearly the need of the people or the need of the demands of the situation, of the business, and so on, and articulate that in a way that motivates and inspires people to build from that foundation you have just laid. Pillar number 3 is find the human, don't fight the habit. See, here's the thing about habits. They're so easy to call out. It's so easy when conflicts arise to say, oh, they're so lazy. Oh, they never do what they say they're going to do. They're always late. It's so easy to call out the habit. But what a real CEO does, they come into the situation and they are able to, like the sculptor who chips away the stone and finds the statue within the stone. The CEO is able to do that and find the human behind the habit. Because you got to understand that habits are merely just symptoms. They're not a sentence. Habits are downstream symptoms of an underlying mindset, an underlying need even, and an underlying value of every human. So when you get to that, the root of it, then you understand why those habits exist. And habits are not a sentence. So instead of attacking the habit, don't fight the habit, find the human. And pillar number 4 is to invite the bridge, not the battle. A lot of times when the heat starts rising and conflict is rising up and people are emphasizing their words, a lot of times what happens is that the battle gets chosen. And the battle gets chosen, the first stone gets thrown. And when the first stone gets thrown, people get injured. And of course, I'm speaking metaphorically, sometimes not metaphorically as well. But in the workplace, especially if you desire to have diplomatic relations, and especially if you desire to have meaningful relationships at work, it is important to invite the bridge. Anytime you come to conflict, it's like You can picture a fork in the road. If you choose one side of it, you're choosing to battle, throw the first stone, or defend my position, or state myself more emphatically. That's choosing battle. Or the other fork in the road, the other side of it, is really to invite the bridge. The bridge is really a collaboration. How can we, because, back to pillar number 1, now I understand the situation. Pillar number 2, I see the need behind it, right? Pillar number 3, I can articulate value. So then after that, now it's like, now we have the foundation that's built from there. How can we collaborate? How can we work together so that it's a win-win situation? I know what your needs are. You know what my needs are. We can create something where both our needs get met. So this is a collaboration. So when you invite the collaboration, the conflict is no longer relevant because there is no longer a conflict. Our values are linked. There's common ground. We can see the situation as it is. The story is no longer the thing that dominates, but the situation with the need behind it, now there's purpose. And then now you have successfully navigated a conflict to build a deeper relationship with another human. If you desire to develop the skill to navigate conflict successfully and to be able to implement this mental framework for some CEOs to turn tension into trust and fiction into fuel, then I invite you to work with me. Below this video, you find some options. It could be you want to learn a little bit more, to have some more training. Perhaps you want to have some more coaching and mentorship to guide you in your unique situation. The choices are there below this video. Choose the option that best works for you, and I look forward to working with you on the inside.